Greetings and welcome to the Sunflower Bee channel. Today we will be talking on the topic of weight loss as well as weight gain, because it is a difficult, touchy and polarizing topic. We often culturally perceive of issues with weight as an issue of motivation, when really I believe we are all aware that there are different problems that could cause someone the inability to lose weight. For example, diseases or syndromes affecting the body by causing either increased appetite or irregular fat storage. In women, for example, there is a commonly known syndrome called PCOS that affect women as well as their hormones, and we're all aware that hormones regulate us throughout our monthly cycle, causing either weird food cravings or sometimes irregular eating habits. And women with PCOS suffer from irregular hormones as well as irregular cycles. And sometimes you'll notice that women with PCOS have an increased urge for carbs, that not being helpful at all, because women with PCOS are likely to have prediabetes, diabetes, insulin resistance, or hypothyroidism, which increases appetite. And because of that, you'll notice that a lot of the people that suffer from weight in general on YouTube, or the people that are talking about their weight and their weight loss journey on YouTube, will be diagnosed with PCOS at one point or the other. And those women will have a harder time losing weight, because not only do women with PCOS lose weight so much slower than the average woman, but they also gain weight so much faster than the average woman. But an equal or sometimes greater difficulty, though, may be caused from traumatic experiences. So we've talked about physiological issues that could not really help with weight loss or gain, but there are also psychological things that could have happened to someone, causing them to develop an eating disorder, which may cause wild weight gain or weight loss. Specific examples include the most relevant binge eating disorder, but also anorexia or bulimia nervosa. But before I go more into depth into this video, I would like to put out the disclaimer that I'm not a psychologist, philosopher, or medical practitioner. I am not trying to diagnose anybody. And just as you wouldn't ask a true crime YouTuber to be an investigator, detective, or police officer to talk on crimes, for example, I would hope that you grant me the same leniency so that I can talk on topics that I genuinely find interesting and genuinely want to talk about. I don't need to be a philosopher, psychologist, or medical practitioner to talk about these topics, as I'm not giving any medical advice. Most of the time, I'm just giving out opinions as well as stating things that have been put on the internet as facts. So, we've gone over two of the reasons as to why someone might have issues with weight loss or weight gain, whether they are physiological reasons or psychological reasons. But however, one must say that even if one or more of the above is what causes one's issue with weight gain, we shouldn't use it as an excuse or justifications. They are mere reasons. Now introducing Mrs. Chantal, better known by her alias Foodie Beauty. Miss Chantal is a Canadian 30-some-year-old living in a small town somewhat close to Montreal, Quebec. Known for mukbangs, massive portions of food, farts, burps, and failed weight loss journey attempts.
I'm probably gonna cut that out. Sorry. That had to come out. I'm eating my cheat day. And at that age, I didn't understand why. It was mysterious to me. I know I've farted in my videos before, but I'm trying to be more dainty.
It is, however, worth saying that there are, of course, reasons of varying quality for those failures. So, the history of Foodie Beauty. So, Foodie Beauty grew up with a single mother after her father abandoned them. And I speculate that this feeling of abandonment coming from her father might be one of the reasons why she latches on to things that will not leave her, also known as food. I speculate that this may be why she looks to food for comfort, which won't leave her, maybe except for her stomach. Not to discredit the many wonderful single mothers and fathers in the world, but it is empirically verifiable that such a situation isn't uncommon with single parenting. which specifically higher rates of mental illnesses occurring. So a child growing up in a single parent household is more likely to develop mental illnesses than one living in a two-parent household. All of this said, it does not excuse any of Miss Chantal's recent behavior, but understanding can help us in what limited capacity we may assist her. And self-understanding is likely critical for her to understand why she feels the pains she does and why she copes with food onto the level of addiction. So, stages of change. We speculate that Miss Chantal has spent almost all of her time in the contemplation stage, before almost immediately relapsing when efforts begin. Now, let's talk about her family. Because everything that you are today has a lot to do with your family, your upbringing, and the people you surround yourself with. She once said that her entire family struggles with eating disorders.
You know, my whole family has issues with food, and food was used as comfort and during happy times with family gatherings, you know? I don't know if a bit of it is hereditary because my dad has such an extremely addictive personality. He was an alcoholic and was hardly in my life because my mom didn't want him around me when he was like that. But he would be an alcoholic, and he was overweight. He struggles with food.
Even her estranged father, who also struggles with alcoholism, which she speculates may suggest it has a genetic component. So here you can see that there are studies talking about genetics and eating disorders. Miss Chantal also notes that her father has made no contact with her despite having watched her videos, which makes her wonder if he's ashamed of her. Her horrible situation. Miss Chantal talks at length about her situation, without going into too much details about the specifics of it, as it is traumatic and she feels unready to speak about it with anyone, let alone publicly. Please respect her privacy on this and refrain from speculating.
And there's something that happened to me when I was in school. Something very cruel. And I never told anybody about it because it's so humiliating. And I don't know if I'll ever be ready to talk about it. I've never told anybody about it. Not even my mother. And I think that's partly why I have so much hatred, picking up the toppings, towards humanity, towards people, because I've been treated like pure shit from so many people for no reason. That really hurt me. And how do you forgive that? How do you do it? And I'm speaking from the heart, and I know this is really morbid, but I want to forgive them. But a part of me really wants to collect them, lock them in a basement, and watch them rot. And then set them on fire. That's how much hatred I have. And I feel like I do need to talk to somebody. I don't know. Before it just eats me alive, you know? And I wonder, like, why do I hurt myself for what other people have done to me when I didn't deserve it?
When she was in school, Miss Chantal faced a situation that was cruel and humiliating, and notes that she has never told anyone, not even her mother, about it. Foodie Beauty continues to express that she is somewhat misanthropic because of the experience and views herself as being treaded on, and saying that they really hurt her and she can't forgive them, and said she wants to forgive but also wants to round them up, lock them in a basement and set them on fire. Miss Chantal's mental health has caused a lot of strain on her family. Once, she claimed to her mother that she took half of her Zoloft bottle, when really she had secretly disposed of it after they had fought. When her mother heard, she panicked and took the young Chantal to a children's hospital, where she was going to be given charcoal to cleanse or neutralize her stomach by a disgruntled nurse. And concerned that that charcoal may have a negative effect if she hadn't really taken any pills, she panicked and ran to the bathroom to actually consume several pills, only to admit this when questioned. She then spent some amount of time in a room with an anorexic girl. The girl was tube-fed and given showers of junk food, which Chantal remembers tempting her binge-eating disorder, which stood a stark contrast to this girl's anorexia. She remembered that while thinking of this, she was eating a Big Mac, brought to her by none other than her mother, who seems to be a reoccurring speed bump to Chantal's mental health. But that's speculation.
We were fighting. You know, she went downstairs to fold clothes. I came down a few minutes later. I emptied out half my bottle of, I think it was Zoloft I was on. Antidepressants or something. Didn't work. So I showed her the bottle and I said, I'm gonna kill myself. I took half the bottle. I hadn't. I really didn't. So she's like, what? You better, are you kidding? Are you kidding? She was freaking out, you know. I said, no. And then she was like, I'm gonna take you to the hospital. You know, such a brat. So she took me to the hospital. And then she was like, you're gonna drink this. It was like a drink, I think it was charcoal. It neutralizes the drug. And I was like, oh no, what if this, you know, I really didn't take the pills. So what if the charcoal has a negative effect if you haven't taken any pills, you know? So like, shit, I actually better take the pills. Bolted for the bathroom. And the nurse was like, hey, where are you going? You know, they didn't want to leave me alone. I was on watch by this nurse. She was yelling after me. And I was like, in the bathroom, I'm like, I'm taking the rest of the pills. So in the bathroom, I actually took some pills. And then I thought I'll just drink the charcoal. You guys probably think I'm nuts. I was. I come out and the nurse is just friggin' livid. Why did you do that? But like, she was just yelling at me. You know? And then I had said, you know, I just got really scared and I was like, I had actually, I didn't really take them before. I just said that. But now I actually did. The nurse was like, I think she was ready to retire because of me. And my mom, oh my god. Anyway, pissing everyone off. They put me in a room, make me drink that. And they decided I was going to, I didn't know exactly then how long I was going to be staying. So I was at like a children's hospital. Because I was still underage. And they put me in a room with someone else. Another youthful girl around my age. They put me beside an anorexic girl. She had anorexia. Which I know was no joke, believe me. But it was a stark contrast. One eating disorder was beside another. I made friends with her. She was being tube fed Ensure all day. Well, for her meals, not all day, but for her meals. And it was sad because her family would come often. You could tell her family really loved her. And they would bring her all kinds of candy, big tubs of gummy bears, and just junk food surrounded her bed. They want her to eat, you know? So they give her tubs of gummy bears. Maybe for the calories, but it's still not healthy, you know? Anyway, we're talking. We become friends, and I was just like, man, those candies. I didn't seem insensitive, but are you gonna eat those candy? And I think she kind of caught on because she gave them to me. She gave me her candies. Another time, we're talking, you know, stark contrast. She's being, you know, the tube Ensure is going through her tubes, and I'm eating a Big Mac, you know? Or someone brought me. Probably my mom.
Chantal's situation above, when she recounts her horrible situation, demonstrate her stress eating in two areas. One demonstrated by her, and another consciously acknowledged by her.
And I don't know if I'll ever be ready to talk about it. I've never told anybody about it. Not even my mother.
Pay attention at whenever she recounts the horrible situation, she kind of glances at the food as if she's looking for comfort in the food. And as soon as she kind of takes a mental pause to process what she was telling us about, she just straight away goes for the food as if she's trying to fill her void inside by calorific food. I just thought that was interesting when I watched that. You can see kind of the tick of eat food now in distress.
And I don't know if I'll ever be ready to talk about it. I've never told anybody about it. Not even my mother. Hey guys. Oh my gosh. I am stressed to the max.
You can often hear Chantal talk about food addiction. It's great that she's self-aware of how far her addiction or food habits have gone as far as her to be food addicted. And I found that one of the comments that she brought up was quite interesting to dissect.
And people say, why don't you just stop eating? It's that easy, just don't eat it. If you cared about yourself, you wouldn't eat that way. Maybe we don't. Maybe we care more about the food than we do about our own selves. But I know that's not true because, well, I feel like I don't want my life to just be food for happiness, you know? So I know that I can't eat. If you're watching me, a lot of you have food addiction, so you know. But a lot of you are addicted to other things like cigarettes. Imagine your life without it. Without cigarettes. That's how I feel.
She said something about cigarettes, that imagine someone being addicted to cigarettes not being able to live without them. And that is when you realize that there is such a difference between the two. One that she might not see right now, but one that is definitely present. You can definitely just cut off the relationship with cigarettes without it being vital, crucial for your life. The issue with food and being addicted to food is that you would have to fix the relationship and not just cut it off because it is vital for life, which might be harder sometimes. Fixing a relationship with something that you need is definitely so much harder than just cutting out that thing that you don't necessarily need. This is also something that I found incredibly interesting. Listen to her resolution to how she's gonna maintain her weight while still doing mukbangs, and pay attention to the fact that her already having binge eating disorder, she tries to find a way to maintain her weight whilst doing exactly what people with binge eating disorder do, which is eat a lot and then don't eat for a few days after that. I just found it kind of interesting how she thought that was a solution to her problem.
Aren't you worried because you're fat? If you eat this way, you're gonna gain weight. Like doing mukbangs and stuff. And I have a video explaining my plan. Like, on the days that I don't do mukbangs, I'm gonna eat very little, and whatever I eat is gonna be healthy. And I'm gonna be starting a workout routine. Get my ass in shape. I don't know why I like eating in front of the camera. I just love it. I don't know. Like, when I first did a mukbang, I was like, or mukbang, whatever. I was like, I really like this. Of course, because it's eating, right?